Good morning, everybody. It's Monday, so it's time for our little chit chat. And today, because of all the beautiful energy that we had last week with Lionsgate, and there was lots of people doing manifestation things, I thought we'd do a little chit chat on why manifestation doesn't always work. So I hear a lot of people say, you know, we're manifesting this, and we're setting the intention for that, and we're doing this, but nothing's still working. And that is fairly common. I'm going to read a little bit from my book, Manifesting with Tarot and Tools, as to why it doesn't work. But the main reason, or some of the main reasons, there can be several different reasons, but one of the reasons is like manifestation is about where it comes from. It's all about energy, law of attraction, what we send out, what we get, and how our vibes are. We're like literally a magnet. That's what we are. We're a magnet to energy. So we might be setting our intention and sending out our vibes of like, I want to manifest, let's say for example, I want to manifest a new boyfriend, okay, or the right boyfriend, or the right job, or the right home, anything. But if we're coming from a place of anger, if we're coming from a place of frustration, if we're coming from a place of pissed off, that's the energy that as the foundation that sets that intention off. So before we've even done anything, we've already underlined the start of it. Does that make sense? And so we could be manifesting all these wonderful things, and we've got our altars, and we've got our candles, and we've got all our herbs and tarot cards and everything that we want, that we think, yeah, this is going to be magic, and we're doing it on the right day, and we're setting those goals, and we're super excited, and it was Lionsgate, and it was the first of the month, or whatever it is. But if we are literally sending that out, but we're angry with someone, we're angry with the situation, we are pissed off with why things aren't moving quick enough, then it doesn't matter what we're doing as far as setting all those intentions and setting everything up, that none of that will matter, because it's the energy that we bring it from, it's the energy that we're starting from aligns that, it starts it off there. So manifestation is about believing in it, living in it, making it happen by being that person. So if we want to have a new house move, for example, then we don't want to be angry with our house at the minute. We don't want to be pissed off that the house that we're selling isn't selling at the minute. We want to come with love. We want to come with, we are welcoming this move, but we've been very happy in this home, so we want someone else to come and be happy. We are waiting for the perfect alignment. If we're manifesting a new man, or new woman, we could be, if we've still got anger issues from past relationships, if we're bitter about people from the past, we're going to be sending out that intention. If we're doing it from a place because we're bored, or we're lonely, or we're depressed and we want someone, I mean, who's going to want to be around you for a start, if that's your energy anyway? But that's the energy you're going to create. That's the energy you're going to set out. So it doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing, you're creating it from a place of, negative, moody vibes, really. So you're going to attract that type of energy, or it's going to manifest into, I want this thing to happen, I want that thing to happen, but I'm also sending out all these negative vibes with it. So therefore, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen how you want it to happen, because the foundation isn't right. Literally, we've got to be owning that. We've got to be living it. We've got to be in a place of peace, in a place of calm, in a place of happiness, in a place of abundance, in a place where that foundation, that energy that we send out, attracts it, gets it. With no blocks, with no barriers, with no negative vibes on it at all. In a place of acceptance, in a place of happiness. So that's one reason, and it's quite a big reason, of why sometimes manifestation won't work in the way that you're wanting it to, is because you're setting that first intention not from a good place there. You're not in harmony with yourself. So literally, like attracts like when it comes to that. Other reasons, and let me just grab this from my book so I don't miss anything here. There are certain times of the day, certain months, certain moon phases that help with manifestation. Here we are. Why doesn't it work? And that can sometimes connect. I mean, the bottom line is, it's like where it's coming from, where you start in that energy. That is the bottom line. So if you're just not in that place and you've not worked on yourself, or you're not healed on yourself, no matter what you do, it's not going to work properly. It's not going to work. That intention comes from a place of, wow, not good vibes. So here's some of these factors you can be addressed in that mindset there. So lack of clarity. Your intentions are vague or unclear. It can be challenging for the universe to bring about the desired outcomes. It's essential to be specific and precise about what you want to manifest. So I've known people to manifest, let's say they want a new job. They put out there, going to want to manifest a new job. And they might have used the tarot cards that connect to that new job. So you might have the Ace of Pentacles, you might have perhaps the Chariot, you might have the Ace of Wands there. So they put all their cards out. They might have crystals of abundance there. But that's all they've said, I'd like a new job. So they get a new job. But their new job might not be what they want because they wasn't specific enough. So sometimes you have to be super, super sure in saying, I want a job that earns me X amount of money, that allows me to do this, that has these hours, that brings abundance to my family, abundance to this. So writing things down before you do any manifestation, so you're super clear about what that intention is. But if you're coming from a space of, I hate my job at the moment, I want to move because don't like the people there, and you're just in that negative mindset. Morning, everybody. Morning, Georgie, Wendy, Linda, Erica, Eddie, Jackie, Kathy, Julie, Caroline. Good morning. If you come in from a place of like, I want a new job, that's just setting that intention first above everything there. So it's about understanding where you're coming from and making sure that you are precise in the details. Doubt and skepticism or negative beliefs can create resistance and block the manifestation process. If you don't truly believe in your ability to manifest, or if you're holding limited beliefs about your worthness or deservingness, it can hinder your efforts. So this is where we have to really believe, where we really trust, and where we believe that we deserve it as well. If there's a little part of you that think, I don't really deserve that, or I don't really mind what it is, it's got to be better than where it is now, or I don't feel like I'm worth having that good job, whatever it is, then the universe is going to fall into your energy. So you'll get something, or it will align with how you're feeling. So you'll get something that perhaps doesn't make you feel worthful, doesn't make you feel that you deserve it there. If you make do with things. So your beliefs have a super power effect on it. Morning, Lynn. Morning, Mary. And not just believe in it, but live in it as well. Being in that moment of it, being in that present time of, I'm not just manifesting this. Morning, Wendy. I'm living it as well. I'm in the mindset of, I already have this new job, or this new home, or this new partner. I'm living it, I'm breathing it, it's real, creating it, making it real, not just making it a wish. If we put it out there, I want this, the universe says, yes, you do want that, and that's it. Yes, you do, you'll want that, and that's the energy you'll create, that just wanting or wishing. But if you start believing and start living in that energy, and being part of that new idea or that part of that new manifestation, you're going to create that energy around you. So if you want a new job, for example, that gives you space and time in the evenings to be with your family and to do things with your family, then you're going to have to start bringing that action in. You're going to have to make that time. You're going to have to change things yourself. So it isn't just about putting it out there to the universe, having all your candles and crystals in the right place. You have to be living in that vibe as well, and showing the universe that you're creating that space. If you want the perfect partner, you've got to work on yourself. You've got to be someone who you would want to be around. You know, I see people put out on posts, you know, that they want this person or that person, but 10 minutes before that, they're ranting and raving about how crap their life is, you know. And I'm like, wow, why would someone want to be around you, you know? So you have to come from the place that you want to end up. That's what it's about. And, you know, the end goal is the idea. It's like setting that idea, setting that intention, being that end goal, and allowing the universe to work around that. So sometimes if the end goal is I want to be in a happy, healthy, safe relationship there, and then you let the universe do its thing, that can manifest, that can come about in different ways. If you are chasing, and I did this beautiful manifestation evening with Solera Star during the week, and I would absolutely recommend her group there. I think it's called the Manifesta something or other. I can't remember. It is in my Facebook group. I did put a link to it, and she called it "Don't Chase the Chicken." Don't chase the chicken, maneuver the turn, or something like that. And basically it was like, if you're constantly chasing and you're not doing the action, you're going to be chasing that chicken, and you don't get anywhere if you chase the chicken. So it's about you having those actions, first of all, setting that intent, being that person, but making the action to be that, moving yourself into that position. There's no point just setting that intention and then going around moaning about that things haven't worked, because the universe will get a bit confused. But it's the alignment, it's your energy, because you're a magnet. We are a magnet to our energy. And, you know, there's some hocus pocus stuff around, you know, manifestations, but the bottom line is we're a magnet, and that's it. And we will attract the energy that we produce, without a doubt. So here's something else in my book: attachments to overcome. Being overly attached to specific outcomes can create resistance and prevent manifestation from flowing naturally. It's important to set intentions while also maintaining a sense of detachment and trust in the process. And that's what I've said. I found a lot of my manifestations, or a lot of things that have happened, they've not quite happened in that the outcome is exactly what I want, but how it's gone about may have taken a change in a different direction of it. So sometimes, even if you're super specific, it's about trusting and letting it go and allowing the energy then to work its way around. Some things happen immediately, some things happen literally overnight, some things take time, because we've got to wait for that perfect time in there. So try not to be over attached to it. Also, begging prayers as well. When we're constantly begging the world, God, universe, for this or for that, we are sending out that intention of the begging. You know, please God, let this happen. Please angels, make this happen. Please universe, make that happen. It's all a beg. It's a begging prayer. So that sends out a vibe of desperation, really. And we don't want to be desperate in our happiness. We want to be able to naturally find that. So there's lots of fine lines in the manifestation, but trying to be thankful and live in the present. So accept it as if it's happened, but you have to super believe it, not half believe it, and detach yourself from it. And here we've got lack of action. So manifestation is not just about visualizing. It involves taking inspired actions towards your goals. If you're not actively working towards your desires, seizing opportunities that come your way, manifestation may not be as effective. Now, I know a classic person here who, very close to me, and they have readings all day long, been having readings for as long as I know them, and the readings say exactly the same thing. There is a fabulous opportunity with travel. There is opportunities for this, for that. There is a successful book, and you've just got to pull your socks up. And that's the message that keeps coming back time after time, no matter how many times they go for a reading. So they come back feeling all excited every time, like, yes, it's told me that my book's going to be successful. They told me that I'm going to be traveling across the world. They've told me that this is going to happen, that's going to happen. But then they don't do anything. They just sit and wait. And we have to do things. So manifestation is about acting and manifesting, activating your manifestation. So the opportunities may come in. I do believe what's not meant to pass us by will always come back again. But honestly, I don't know how many times this particular person has gone for readings and at the churches as well, when they've said the same things, blah, 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 blah. But it's like you've got to action it. It's there for the taking. But if you're just going to expect things to fall on your lap, maybe not. And again, I have a lot of people come for readings and they want to know when they're going to meet a partner. That's classic, when they want to, who their partner's going to be, what they're going to be like, what personality, what eyes, what star sign. And I'm like, are you doing anything? Little thumbs up. Are you doing anything about it? Are you actively looking? And they're like, no, don't like sites, don't like whatever they're called, dating sites. Don't really like going out to the pub. Don't really go out with my friends. Don't do this, don't do that. And I'm like, well, do you know what? Like, the energy is there. If I'm seeing it, the energy is there. But you've got to meet them halfway. Unless you're going to be super lucky that it's the postman that's going to come knocking on the door, float your boat. You've got to meet them halfway. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And that's the same with manifestations. It's all about potential. Tarot readings, psychic readings, it's all about potential. The options are there, the energy is there, things will happen. And a lot of people say to me, when will they happen? And with my experience at the beginning of my readings, I remember saying, oh God, I need to find out when it's going to happen. And I'd be like, oh, June, July, whatever. But then I've learned with experience and to go back to them, and I'm like, it will happen when you start actioning it. So you're giving them the responsibility as well. I don't want responsibility like that. So working towards your desires and seizing those opportunities are huge. Opening your eyes and taking chances, making actions. Don't expect everything just to fall in your lap there. It's about a give and take on it. Timing and patience. Manifestation does not always happen instantly on your preferred timeline. It is essential to be patient and trust that the universe will deliver what you need at the right time. Sometimes there may be lessons to learn or growth or experience before your desires to manifest. And that's where you have to trust the bigger picture. That yes, it may come about, yes, it may happen there, but you've got experiences that you've got to learn, you've got lessons that you might have to learn, and you may have to just wait for that perfect alignment. Because if it's not, especially if it's not just you that you're manifesting about, it's somebody else as well. It's like, I want the love of my life to come in, or I want a job opportunity, or I want someone to buy my house. Then you've got to wait for them as well, haven't you? You've got to wait for their influence to be leveled up, to match up, for that right person to come in, to buy the house, to give you the job, perhaps for someone to leave a job ready for that vacancy to become available there. I've had things where I've wanted opportunities and they've not come about. I'm not a very patient person, so I've created them myself. You know, I'm like, okay, well, I want to do this and it's not happening via someone offering it me. I'm going to create it. So I'm being it, and that's what we go back to. I'm creating it, I'm making it happen. So then it does happen, and then when it starts to happen and I start living in it because it's real, then those opportunities come at me much easier because I'm already in that alignment there. So timing and trusting that sometimes you just have to go through lessons and situations as part of that bigger picture. Unresolved inner blocks. Deep-seated fears, traumas, or emotional wounds can act as barriers to manifestation. It may be necessary to address and heal these inner blocks to clear the path for your desire to manifest. And this comes from what I was saying, where it actually stems from, that first part of manifestation. So if you're bitter because of situations around you, if you've got depression, if you've got ill health and you want to manifest good health, but you're not willing to perhaps give up the cigarettes, give up smoking, give up food that you shouldn't eat and start exercising, how is it going to happen? You know, if I want to, like, one of my things is I want to lose weight. I want to lose some weight. So I could put out there to the universe, I want to lose weight. So I would have to be living as a thinner person. And that thinner person that I would have to be would not be someone that eats chocolate at 9 o'clock at night, or that sits and does no exercise, just sits on their bum, or eats a lot of takeaways. That's not what my thin person would do. So I can't carry on eating all of that food and not doing this and not doing that, expecting to manifest that thin person. I've got to be that thin person. I've got to start looking at the exercise and the diet, and what would a thin person's lifestyle be like? They're most likely going to be going to the gym, maybe, or they're most likely going to be going for walks. They're most likely going to be eating better food. They're most likely going to be not eating chocolate at 9 o'clock at night, or bags of crisps, watching the TV at night, or packets and packets of biscuits. I don't do all this, by the way. I'm just, exaggerating and proving a point. So you have to understand where there could be some emotional blocks. And if you can't change those, if you can't, you're like, wow, I've got this issue and that issue, this is where you have to work on that core. This is where you have to take the time to heal that, to recognize that, and to look at where some of those blocks and barriers come from, so that you're not setting that intention out on a wonky vibration initially there. So there's work that you have to do sometimes. And again, I've met people where they've said, but I've worked on myself, I'm healed, and I'm this, and I've done all that, and I've done my shadow work, and and I'm trying to lose weight, and I've done all this. And they're not really, they're doing it, but they're not doing it with their heart. They're just half-heartedly there. They're just pretending that it's not really real. Some manifestation is pretending, is like I said, if I wanted to be a thin person, I'd have to pretend to be a thin person initially before it became in my natural alignment there. When I've shared this story before, when I first got into energy and how our energy attracts energy, and how we're a magnet. This was years and years ago. I was in a queue. I was working in retail, and I was a job's worth, definitely. And I was only about 20 though. And I was absolutely, just wanted to wear the suit, just wanted to be the boss there. Anyhow, I would make it awkward for people just because I could. So somebody came in for a refund, I would make it awkward for them. I would just be a pain in the arse, really. And I found, and it wasn't even my business. I was working for obviously a different company, so it wasn't even my money. But I was just being a job's worth. So I found that when I was trying to get help for things, it was hard. I'd be on the phone forever, trying to get through to people. Nothing was really easy. I had block after block, challenge after challenge, because I was that person. I remember being in a queue in the post office just one day, and this is when I really started to get into it. And in my head, there was this just voice that said, well, what about if you just change things? What about if you just start being a bit more helpful to other people? How does that work? And I don't know where it came from or what, some inspiration, but that was on my lunch break, and I remember going back into work, and then everyone that came in for refunds, I was just like, yeah, sure. I was just super nice. And if they were looking for something or wanted something, I was just extra nice. And I felt better for doing that. But I found that things then opened up for me. Things were easier. I wasn't left on hold for 10 hours on a phone call, or stuck in certain situations. And it wasn't overnight, and I had to remind myself to be that person. But eventually it became second nature. Eventually it was just, I didn't even think about being awkward. I was an awkward child, actually, very awkward child. So it stemmed from there. But I just had this voice in my head that said, what happens, what about if you change? And it worked, and it absolutely worked. And now, although if you hear me on the phone to certain companies, I'm probably a bit savage with some of them, but now it's second nature. So when you start to change yourself and be the person that you want to attract in your life, or be the energy that you want to attract in your life, it works, and you will definitely change that vibration. So if you want to move into a happier place, be that happier place. If you want to have more money, look at what you're spending, look at what's going out, look at your budgets, look at what's coming in, going out, look at what around you where you can maybe make a bit of extra money, sell some things, look at how you can enjoy having a bit of extra money there. Be grateful. Sending out gratification is huge in manifestations. So it's very much about you being the change that you want to see, but more that you want to be there. Okay, so working on unresolved inner blocks and addressing those healing points to help clear the path. Because like I said, it's not chasing the chicken. The energy that you start manifestation is literally how it begins, that first thought, that first part. Alignment with your higher purpose. Sometimes we think what we want may not align with our higher purpose or soul's journey. If your desires are not in alignment with your true self or higher good, manifestations may not be successful. So, and this can be morning Denise, must be evening for you. This can be things where, let's just say you want to be, you want to be famous. Let's just say someone wants to be famous, want to be a famous singer, okay? They can't sing, but they want to be a famous singer. If that's not set out in your pathway, you're never going to be a famous singer. Oh my goodness, 1:30 a.m. Wow. Late morning, early morning, late night. So sometimes your intentions may be a bit off, maybe a bit wild, maybe a little bit in alignment with you as well. So you have to be realistic with things. And if you know in your true heart and soul, if you know that you have done everything that you possibly could for that manifestation, that you are in a good place, that you are coming from a healthy perspective, you're setting that key, that's the foundation, on a very good vibration, you're not setting it with a little bit of bitter or anger or desperation. If you know that you're acting towards it, so you are perhaps going to singing rehearsals, perhaps you're connecting to bands, and if you know that you're acting and you're doing everything and it's still not working, maybe it ain't for you. So after a period of time, you might have to recognise that actually maybe that manifestation isn't for you, and then sit and listen, and you'll be guided as to what is for you. Now, something else I'm going to share on that. I went to church yesterday morning and saw beautiful Carrie-Anne Riley Robbins do her demonstration, and she spoke about symbols and signs, which was really strange because I'd spoke about that last week and did a blog on it. And one of her little stories that she said was this guy was in his, it's a made up story, guy's in his Ferraris and his posh car, he's got all the money in the world, and he's going down the road 100 miles an hour, and he's just interested in his money, he's just interested in his car and how flashy he looks. He's paying a bit of attention, but he's flash. And then all of a sudden this brick comes through his door, knocks his door, dents his door. So he gets out the car and he's effing and blinding, who's done this, who's done that, you've damaged my car. He sees this kid on the side crying, you've damaged my car, that's going to cost me thousands of pounds, do you know how much my car was worth, blah blah blah. And this kid's I'm really sorry, but no one would stop, and I needed to get someone's attention, and throwing a brick was the only way I could get attention. My I'm pushing my brother in a wheelchair and the wheelchair's fallen over and I can't lift him. I need somebody to help me lift him, but no one's stopping. So I had to throw a brick. So the guy's humbled by this and it's like, okay, I'm really sorry, helps the boy up and watches this boy walk his brother in the wheelchair off. And he chooses to keep the dent in his car, not to fix it, because he wanted to be reminded that sometimes we need to slow down, smell the roses, and not to be in such a place where we're missing things and having to have a brick thrown at us to show us those. So sometimes in our life, in our manifestation, absolutely, if we're not on the right track and if we're aligning into things we shouldn't be, the universe, I 100% believe, will throw us a brick. And we might have subtle signs at the beginning there that we might not be recognising. So we could be manifesting to be this fabulous singer and be super famous in doing this. Denise, I've had enough bricks. Well, this is the other thing, Denise, another slightly different talk, but you're not listening somewhere along the line. If you're getting bricks thrown at you all day long, the universe is like, we started with pebbles and then we ended up with a brick, because you're not listening. So you need to be doing something there. However, that's a different story. But in your manifestations here, if you're wanting to be this famous singer and it's just not happening, and it's becoming like harder and there's more obstacles, there's more bricks that are coming your way, stop at the pebbles. Try not to waste too much time. Think, actually, maybe I'm not in alignment, maybe I'm not meant to be a bigger singer. So this is the thing, how do you know what you're meant to do? How do you know your purpose there? And again, we've spoke about this before, like trying to find the difference between your soul and your head. Your head is your ego, like, I want to do this, I want to do that. What's your soul? Your soul is doing things that you enjoy. So even though you might want to be a famous singer, but because you love singing, but your head and your ego is like, but I want the money, I want the fame. But your soul is like, but I love singing. So just do that. The pebbles and the brick that comes your way in the manifestation that might not make you a famous singer, but it could still make you a singer. And even if you're not a good singer, but you enjoy singing, then sing. Singing, if it's in your soul and it makes you happy, do that. That's your purpose. It could be going round to old people's homes, care homes, singing for them. They love that. It could be going round nurseries, working with children, singing nursery rhymes. Your head and your ego might think, I want to be famous, I want to be a famous singer, I want to be this and that, I'm really good. But that might not be your pathway. But being a singer still might, because it resonates in your soul. It makes your soul feel alive by singing. But you may feel like, actually, this celebrity singing's not really going for me. I keep getting hit by bricks, so maybe that's not what I should be manifesting. So it's understanding what works with our soul, understanding what our alignment is as to what we're going to manifest there. And then when you start recognizing, actually, it's the singing I like, my ego got away with me with the being famous, it's the singing I like, then doors will open up. Then you'll be like, oh, actually, there is a singing position for an old people's home, or for a nursery, or for this local group, or whatever. You'll find that it's like the singing's not the problem, it's the bigger area that you were trying to chase. And that's where your head and, like I said, your ego and your soul, really, you need to understand what's at your soul. So how do you understand what's at your soul? The core of it, the easy way of it, is to sit in the power. Absolutely sit in the power, sit in the quiet zone, not necessarily meditation where you're going on a walk and fluffy river, but just sitting in the quiet. And that will take time. Just sit and be in your soul, and that's where you'll get those daydreaming messages. That's where you'll get your connections to your guide, I believe, and where you can have those conversations. Am I meant to be a famous singer? And you'll hear like, no. But am I meant to sing? Yes. So you're like, okay, well, how can I do this? And you'll get those conversations with your guide. But it's about your soul. It's about your belly. It's about, like, what makes you feel good. That's what we're here for. That's what we're meant to be doing. So when we're manifesting, it's got to come from a place that makes us feel excited, that makes us feel good, that aligns with our soul. If it doesn't feel good in any way, if there's a little kink in the way, it's just not going to happen. So that's sometimes where manifestation can go wrong, because we're ego-led, not soul-led there. So I think that's super important to figure out what your soul wants rather than what your ego wants, you know. And that can go with anything there. So we may want a big house in the country with a big field and horses. That might be what we want, but our alignment is actually that lifestyle would bring us peace and harmony and detachment perhaps from city life. So it's recognizing that that's what we want. We don't need the big house in the field of all the animals to have that. We just want somewhere that is calm, that is peaceful, where there's nature, and then let the universe work out where you're going to go. So it's understanding how to manifest in your soul is super important there. Again, partners, we might want like the best partner in the world and them to have all these traits, but actually in our soul we just want to be loved, we want to be nurtured. Our soul wants us to be able to have someone that we can share a journey with. So that's the essence. It's the essence of manifestation that we want to try and get into, rather than the huge big picture of what our ego wants. And that's a fine line when we're trying to manifest, but we've got to dot the I's and cross the T's and be precise, because you want to be precise. And it absolutely does happen sometimes when you can manifest the house, the car there. But this is like if manifestation isn't working. If it's working and you can be precise working and it's super fabulous. But this is like, perhaps if it isn't working for you, maybe you've just lost sight of what your soul wants and you're being ego-led there. So alignment with your higher purpose is huge. And then external factors here in my book. So external circumstances such as environmental influences or the actions of others can also impact the manifestation process. It's important to remain adaptable and open to unexpected opportunities and change. So again, that's about trusting the bigger picture there and other people's influence around things. And you know, just as much as you could be you're manifesting someone in your life, someone could be manifesting you right now. You've got to make sure that you're like open to that as well. And no one's going to want to manifest a dick. No one's going to want to manifest anyone that's not positive, not happy, not this, not that. So be that person, and then you're likely to be a better magnet for somebody else there. Denise, I sold my mobile and will be living on faith that I'll be led to the best places where I buy my van to live and travel. That's a biggie. That's a biggie, Denise, isn't it there? Living on faith. Yeah, I know a lot of people that do that. Yeah, I don't know if I could live on faith completely. I live in a trust there, but I am very, probably because I'm quite controlling, but I'm very aware of personal responsibility. That's the word I want to say. So I do see people who say, well, we're just going to wait for it to happen because we've sent it out to the universe now. And like I said, this person that I know, who actually is quite big on personal responsibility, so it's a bit weird, but who just has these readings time after time, expecting things to happen, gets told that all these wonderful things are going to happen, and then they don't do anything about it. So I'm a big believer in, yeah, having faith, trust, but also that personal responsibility of my actions there. But good for you. I know, Denise, you've been talking about it forever, so it's probably right in your alignment, because this isn't a new thing that you've been wanting, Denise, is it? This is something you've been wanting to do. It's in your heart, it's in your soul there. Van life, fabulous. I'll be interested, Denise, to see. So are you still going to be vanning it in California, or are you vanning it in different areas? I'm wondering, are you going to go, yeah, where were you? Was it Santa Clarita? I can't remember. Where were you? It was somewhere, Santa something. But where, yeah, let me know where you're going. Laura, where can we get the book? You can get this book on Amazon. You can just type in Kate May book or Kate May Manifestation with Tarot. You can grab it there. It is at the moment, it will go up this week. It'll go back up to 11, but it is still at £8 at the moment because I put it at £8 when it was Lionsgate and just haven't got around to changing it. So if you buy it today, you'll be lucky to get it for £8 still. Morning Polly, morning Kate, morning Emma, morning Cal, Denise, all over the USA. Santa Cruz, that's it, Santa Cruz. It was some others in Santa Clarita, yes, but first Santa Cruz. Lovely, lovely. We're coming back out to the States next year. We've got Texas in the spring, and then I've got Colorado, and then it's a girls' working retreat thing. So Cole's not invited to that because he's a boy, but that's in September. So super excited, and I've no idea if that's anywhere near California. I don't think it is it? Texas and Colorado, I don't think they're near California. So I don't know if I'll be in that area. I'll meet you there. Oh, that would be cool, Denise. That would be cool in your van life. I tried finding it and couldn't. I'm in Australia. Oh, I don't know. Do you know, I'm seeing my admin girl today, Cal. So I will see if she can put an Australian link in. I will ask her. I know we tried to do it with the diary last year, and for some reason, I don't know if the conversion costs were a bit high, but it wouldn't work for some reason. But we'll have a look. We'll have a look. So I'll speak to her today and see if we can get something aligned with Australia, because the new diary for 2025 is out as well. That's already been out for a few months now. Just haven't promoted it because we're still in 24. Polly, I feel like we need to instigate our journey, read into our great for direction, but we need to push ourselves to achieve our goals. There's faith and faith. I have the faith in myself that I will push myself to get what I want, and have faith that I will get what I need. Absolutely. Laura, book ordered. Thank you very much. Denise, I'll buy your book. It's definitely on America, Denise. It's definitely in America to be able to buy there. So there we have it. There we have it. That is why sometimes manifestation, I believe, don't always work. It's not about chasing the chicken. It's about maneuvering the turn. And your starting point of manifestation is the key. So if it's coming from a place of sadness, desperation, bitterness, it's going to have that in it. Blood is going to have that filtered in it. So be aware where it comes from. And I would highly recommend joining Solera Star's group. I believe it's called Manifest. I can't remember. If you go into my group, good night Denise, sweet dreams. If you go into my group, Kate May Modern Day Mystic, it is in there as a link to join the group. She's friggin' awesome on so many levels, Solera is, and helping you unblock those blocks and recognizing those bricks. She's more than a manifester, I tell you. She's a very good therapist in that way. So I'd highly recommend you connect with her. And she does a free monthly manifestation 2-hour Zoom. And I got so much from that. Plus I won. She does a little competition and I won a 1-to-1 with her, which I've got to book in this week. So she does a free 2-hour Zoom call. She's just brilliant. So follow her, Solera Star, join her group. Just be conscious in your manifestations. Ask yourself, why is it not working? Maybe you are just ego-led a little bit there, which we've all been and are. That's human nature. So we need to go into our soul. Maybe it's because it's coming from a place where we haven't healed. Maybe it's because that magnet isn't quite aligned and we're not projecting the energy ourselves. We're not completely authentic with it. We're just expecting things to happen. So there's lots of reasons. And if you've only just joined in the last couple of minutes, Gonna have to watch on replay, but I will post it now. It will go onto my YouTube and TikTok and bloody everything because I can. So have a fabulous Monday, whatever you do. Enjoy the week. It's summer, it's sunny. Well, it's not for you, Cal. It's going to be winter, isn't it, Australia? I am planning a trip to Australia. I've got family members out there. I've got family in Tasmania, and I can't remember the other place, nowhere near Tasmania. And they keep asking me to go out. So I am going to go out. It won't be next year because I've got two, we might be going to Canada though, but I've got 2 working holidays in America, and something else lined up in October. So the following year, Australia is on my bucket list, and I know the kids will definitely want to go to Australia. So I have promised them that in our winter, so maybe around Christmas time, but Australia, it would be a place I'd love to live. There's a little story that Cole's got with Australia. Shall I just share it quick? Who's still here with me? So in Melbourne, you're in Melbourne. Do you know, that might be where my cousins are. Could be are. Let me just show you this quick, and this is like intervention from Spirit World, and I think I've shared it before, but I'm going to share it quick again because it's about Australia. So Cole was going to Australia to work, and he was on an extended visa, so he had no return of anything. He was just going single out. They'd done America, and he was on his way to Australia. He was at the airport, and he had a couple of coins left, and he was putting them in. He had somewhere on Australia, which is a big place, he'd arranged to do some work with some people, so and stay with them. So he phoned them, said, yeah, I'm at the airport, yeah, see you, however many hours. Puts his money in, books the flight, and the little machine is going round and round, wouldn't work. So he had to choose a different destination. He only had like 10 minutes before it was the check-in bit. So he had to choose a different destination. So he was like, oh, I'll just go there, it's not too far. Round and round, wouldn't work. Starting to panic, another destination, another coin in, destination wouldn't work. Anyway, that happened quite a few times. He was down to his last coin, and he just picked this random place, and it was something like 100,000 miles from where he should have been, but it went through straight away. So he quickly boarded, phoned the guys that he was meant to be staying with and said, look, I've had a problem. I couldn't reach you there. I've had to go here. And they were like, it's not a problem. We actually know someone that lives there that is into all the spiritual things. You can stay there. We'll make a call. They phoned, made the call. Cole's like, yeah, all good. They were like, yeah, not a problem. We'll get you. So he goes there and meets up with them. And they say, well, actually, we have a little meditation group on this night, why don't you come along and join it? So we joined that, and then they all get talking, and then they're like, well, we could put some work on for you, we've got to pull out bed, why don't you stay here? So we stayed there, and I think it was a few months in the end that he ended up staying there. Anyhow, on one particular evening, they're talking about doing this Anglo and Australian exchange, where they have Australians come over here and do some spiritual work, and then English people go over there and do some work. And the guy that he was staying at, the house that he was staying with, said, actually, we've done that before. We stayed with a lady in Bournemouth, and her son and daughter are mediums, and we went and we watched theirs. And he said, oh, in Bournemouth, who did you stay with? And he said, oh, Maureen and Ray. And Cole was like, Maureen and Ray? And they were whereabouts in Bournemouth? And this guy said, that's my mum. And he said, I was the son that you watched do the dem. And then he phoned his mum. He's like, you never guess whose house I'm at so-and-so's. And that was the universe, without a doubt. He wasn't even meant to be there. It wasn't just down the road. It was hundreds and hundreds of miles away of where he was meant to go. He'd hooked up and was staying in the house of people that had been in his mum's house 4 or 5 years before, and had watched Cole and his sister do a dem in Bournemouth. What are the odds of that? What are the odds? And all those coins, the destinations, it was just whirling and whirling, and then this particular one went straight through. So he had an idea that he wanted to go to Australia, he wanted to do some spiritual work. It was happening, but the universe were like, yes, but we're going to just do it in our way. So sometimes you've got to just trust a little bit there, have that manifestation, have that intent, but how the universe gets there in the end is Yeah, incredible story. Amazing story. I love it. When he says it, it's a little bit more detailed than what I've said it. But yeah, I mean, there's certain things you just can't make up and fathom that, you know. And if it was just round the corner, I don't know. But it was hundreds, you know, miles away, thousands of miles away. Bizarre. So yeah, trust. Anyway, everyone, have a fabulous day, and I will see you. So cool how it is. I will see you next Monday, if not before. I do have spaces if anyone wants a reading. Not tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. I have spaces Thursday and Friday. I don't even know if I'm working Saturday. Let's see what the weather's doing. But Thursday and Friday I definitely do, if anyone wants to book a reading with me or with Cole. He's available as well. Let's pimp him out there. Those that have just joined, sorry, I'm gonna send it as a replay. Enjoy.